Hey guys, Ryan Lamb here with Flukemaster Reviews. We're going to be reviewing the Strike King 2 Tap lipless crankbait, and we're going to be doing some giveaways. So last year, Strike King came out with their latest lipless crankbait, and it's the Red-Eye Shad 2 Tap lipless crankbait. It's still got all the great qualities of the Red-Eye Shad lipless crankbait that everyone loves, except now it's got a tungsten sound chamber with a 2 tap cadence when you're reeling in that bait. One of the awesome things is it gives the fish a little bit of a different noise, and if they're really, getting pressured and hammered by crankbaits and a lot of really loud lipless crankbaits, this is an awesome way to give them a little bit of a different look. So Strike King offers the Red-Eye 2 Tap in 20 different colors, and they have 2 different sizes. It's going to be your 1/2 ounce and your 3/4 ounce. Both of these are great weights for using the lipless crankbait. You can fish it down deep in grass. You can lift your rod tip up and fish the 1/2 ounce real shallow, 1 to 2 feet of water. Strike King equipped these bad boys with number 4 super sticky sharp VMC hooks. We've had nothing but excellent luck with keeping fish stuck. And Gene caught a 6-pounder on this bait last week down at Lake Seminole. We've had a lot of fun on these baits. He whooped my tail with the regular Red-Eye Shad throwing the 2 tap, so there's no doubt that when fish are pressured, that 2 tap cadence is definitely something different for the fish to hear. One thing that Strike King kept when they introduced the Red-Eye 2 Tap is that famous Red-Eye Shad shimmy on the fall. Almost looks like a Senko, but in fast motion. When you're yo-yoing this bait, an excellent tactic in cold water and in hydrilla, fishing deep grass, you rip the bait up and it has that real tight wobble up, and then it shimmies slowly on the fall. It's going to fall quick, but it's going to have that Senko-like shimmy. It triggers unreal reaction strikes, and you guys are going to get that same shimmy motion on the fall with the 2 tap that you got when you guys loved the when the Red-Eye Shad exploded on the scene. So definitely an awesome quality about this bait. In the link below, we have a way for you guys to get to this bait directly and order it. The 1/2 ounce goes for $7.89, and the 3/4 ounce goes for $8.59. So most of the time when I'm fishing lipless crankbaits, I like to actually do a couple little modifications on the bait. And so this bait, like I said earlier, comes with the VMC number 4 trebles. I mean, they're real sticky sharp. I don't have an issue with it. But since I fish it in grass so much, one of my favorite things to do is a trick my buddy taught me a long time ago on how to make this bait even more weedless in the grass, is to remove both of the treble hooks off of the bait and put either a number 1 or a number 2 treble on the front. What that's going to do is that's going to make the bait, the nose of the bait, track down a little bit farther, and the heavier hook is going to tuck back up under the belly, and so as it's coming along, you're going to get a lot less grass because you only have one of the points actually sticking down into the grass, and that nose is really protecting it, kind of like the bill on a crankbait. These baits run really well sticking down, so they're going to protect it anyway, but you can go a little bit farther by putting on that number 1 or number 2 treble hook. And one of the great advantages to having a single treble hook that's a big size is during early spring and late fall, when that lipless crankbait bite gets super hot and that dying grass that's up shallow, you're going to catch a lot of big fish. Well, I don't know if you've had the same experiences as me, but I've lost a lot of really big bass on these 2 treble hook lipless crankbaits. They just seem to be able to throw them real well. So when you switch over to that big number 1 or number 2 hook, has real sharp points, you're going to keep a lot more big fish buttoned up. So when Strike King came out with these baits, they did a really great job of really covering all the bases on anything that you bass fishermen could need, to match the hatch, to match the forage that the fish are feeding on. When it comes to bait fish, they got this new color called Natural Shad. It almost looks like a foil wrap. This color is phenomenal. It looks just like a threadfin shad. A lot of times this time of year, they're eating smaller threadfin shad and smaller gizzard shad, and this can be an amazing imitator, especially in clear water. If they're eating on crawfish, they have probably 6 or 7 different colors on crawfish. They have the dark reds, they have oranges, they have that mustard yellow kind of look, they have even kind of like a molten craw looking color. So this is definitely they have some great color selections on these on the craw pattern side. For baitfish, going back to baitfish, they have a golden shiner imitation. They have a couple different, and they have the chrome series as well, which is always that's a classic lipless crankbait baitfish imitation color. And then they even have a couple of bluegill imitators as well, and that's one of the new foil wrap colors. I think you guys will really like it. So some of the things that I would change about the Two Tap. The chrome series, and this is, it's not really, you know, something that they can really help, but when you put chrome on these lipless crankbaits or on any crankbait, you notice that the paint chips off really easy. It flakes really easy. That's just part of the deal with buying chrome baits. But a lot of times to kind of turn a negative into a positive, I can't tell you how many times me or Fluke has had a chrome colored lipless crankbait, and as some of the paint gets knocked off, we actually start to notice that the fish are eating it more. So you got that real bright flashy chrome, and then there's that kind of like that bone color underneath, that kind of like, you know, as it's shimmying, they get, you know, some flash, and then they get a real dull, subtle color. And there's times when, you know, we have baits that have half the paint knocked off them, and those are the ones that we're going to actually go to, because there's, you know, there's something really special about when a bait gets a little beat up, a little worn in. We've noticed that the fish actually kind of eat those more. So another thing to change, another modification you can do with this bait is that if you don't want to switch over to that single treble hook bait, what you can do is you can get a, you know, definitely the leader, the most well-known, is the Mustad triple grip short shank hooks, and they now actually offer a round bend as well. I know that Gamakatsu also has a short bend, or I'm sorry, a short shank treble hook. I haven't got to use them yet, so I can't really tell you my thoughts on those, but I do, you know, if you're a Gamakatsu fan, they do offer those. Mustad offers those as well. So if you want to upsize your hooks and not go to that single treble hook modification like I told you about a little bit earlier, all you need to do is take these number 4s, go get you some KVD Mustad short shank triple grip hooks in either the, I guess they call that the extra wide gap where it kind of straightens out and turns back in, or the round bend, and switch the number 4s out to a number 2. It's going to make it a little bit heavier, but the hooks are going to stay about the same size, but it's going to have a much bigger bite, and hopefully that'll help you land some of those big fish that I don't know if you guys have experienced, but I know that I've definitely lost some big fish on lipless crankbaits. It gets big fish to bite, but a lot of times they come off as well. So you know, that's one of the things that can really help you out with keeping some of those big fish buttoned up. Really, my last biggest gripe with this bait really is, I mean, I love throwing it so much that I wish they would offer it in some different sizes. They would expand. A 1/4 ounce and an 1/8 ounce would be sweet. I know the 1/4 ounce is a little more realistic, but I like really downsizing, because there's times when the bass are really in a tiny bait fish. Another thing too I'd really like is if they offered a 1 ounce for guys that are fishing ledges, and for when you're trying to imitate some of those bigger bait fish. So that's pretty much it when it comes to this Strike King Red Eye Shad 2 Tap. Way more pros than cons. We have had a lot of great days in the water with this bait, and I really, you know, I can't thank Strike King enough for coming out with this bait, because it's helped my fishing. I know it's helped Gene, and I know it's going to help you guys. So check out the link in the bottom of the video. Go check them out. Go pick up a couple for yourself, and go fish this thing. So that finishes up our kind of tabletop discussion about this bait. We're going to be giving away an entire box of these things. So before you go down in the comments, like the video, and leave a comment about how you like to fish lipless crankbaits so we can get some more discussions going. So next Friday, we're going to be using a random comment picker to find out who wins this box of baits, and we're going to ship them right to your door. Thanks for watching Flukemaster Reviews, and we'll see you on Friday night.